All right, so problem number 41 asks us to do some calculating based on legal limits for alcohol sobriety, based on newer and older limits, the newer limit being 0.08% alcohol by volume, and the older one being 0.10% alcohol by volume. So part A asks us to calculate how many milliliters of alcohol are in 3 quarts of blood at the lower legal limit. So what we'll do is we'll take the information, we'll take 3.0 quarts, and we want to somehow get that to milliliters. And from one of the other problems that we did in this homework session, we know that, this is letter A, we know that 1 liter is equal to 1.06 quarts. So this is our entry into the metric system from the standard system. Once we're in the metric system, it's really easy to convert from liters to any of the other units. And we should know that in 1 liter, there are 100 milliliters. 1,000 milliliters. So if we do this, we should end up with 2,800 milliliters in 3 quarts. So that makes sense. A quart is a little bit smaller than a liter, so 3 quarts would be a little bit less than 3 liters. All right, but this problem is now asking us how many milliliters of alcohol are in this 2,800 milliliters of blood. So we're going to take our 2,800 milliliters and we're going to multiply it by the percent of alcohol in the lower limit. So we're going to multiply this by 0.080%. Now remember from math class, percent is per 100, so we're going to move that decimal place two spots to the left, so 0.00080%. Well, not percent, we don't need that percent anymore. So you're just going to multiply this number here by this number here. It should give us a pretty small number, and it does. We end up with 2.2 milliliters. So in nearly 3 liters, 2,800 milliliters of blood at the new legal limit, there's about 2.2 milliliters of alcohol. Now the next part of this, we can actually use some of the information that we got from part A. Let me switch to the paintbrush here to solve part B. How many milliliters of alcohol are in 3 quarts of blood plasma at the higher legal limit? So we've already done the conversion of quarts to milliliters, and we found from the previous one we have 2,800 milliliters. I'm not going to have you do that problem again. And now we're going to multiply it by the lower limit. By the higher limit, so 0.10%. Again, changing this when we do the calculation to get 0.0010. And then when we do this, we're going to end up with it's a higher percentage, so we should end up with a higher answer, but not by much. So this is going to be 2.8 milliliters. And now lastly, in part C, we want to know how much less alcohol is in 3 quarts of blood plasma with the reduced sobriety level. So we're just going to take our 2 answers from B and A and do the math to subtract it. So at the higher alcohol content, the higher level, we have 2.8 milliliters, and we're going to subtract from that the lesser amount, 2.2 milliliters. We'll line our decimal places up, and we should end up with 0.6 milliliters. I like to ignore that dot there. In fact, let me erase that. But I like to throw a 0 out in front so there's no doubt that that number is 0.6 and not 6. So there's 0.6 milliliters less in 3 quarts of blood with the reduced sobriety levels.